Champions are made, not born. But what if the secret to unlocking your inner greatness was already inside you? Today we're diving into Born to be a Champion by Dr. Jonathan Chuma, a book that challenges everything we think we know about success and potential.
Oh, that's an intriguing premise. What exactly does Dr. Chuma mean by saying we're all born to be champions?
Well, the core idea is that we all have this innate seed of potential within us. It's not about natural talent or luck, but about cultivating the right mindset and habits to unlock that potential. Dr. Chuma argues that with the right approach, anyone can achieve greatness in their chosen field.
That's a pretty empowering message. But how does he suggest we go about unlocking this potential?
Great question. A big part of it is education, not just formal schooling, but a commitment to lifelong learning and self-improvement. He calls education an equalizer that can open doors regardless of your background. But it's also about developing what he calls the champion's mindset, things like passion, discipline, resilience, and an unwavering commitment to excellence.
That makes sense. I'm curious though, does he address how to overcome obstacles and setbacks? Because, let's face it, the path to success is rarely smooth sailing.
Absolutely. There's a whole chapter dedicated to overcoming adversity. Dr. Chuma actually frames adversity not as something to be feared, but as an opportunity for growth. He gives some great examples of famous people who overcame incredible odds to achieve success, like Oprah Winfrey, who rose from a traumatic childhood to become one of the most influential media figures in the world.
Wow, that's inspiring. It reminds me of that quote from Nelson Mandela. Do not judge me by my successes, judge me by how many times I fell down and got back up again.
Exactly. And that ties into another key theme of the book, the importance of resilience and mental toughness. Dr. Chuma talks a lot about reframing negative self-talk and practicing mindfulness to stay focused on the present moment. He gives the example of Olympic athletes who mentally rehearse their performances in incredible detail, down to the sights, sounds, and even smells of the competition.
That's fascinating. It really shows the power of the mind in shaping our reality. Does he offer any practical strategies for developing this mental toughness?
Oh yeah, tons. One that really stuck with me was his advice on visualization. He suggests spending time each day vividly imagining yourself achieving your goals. Like, if you're an aspiring entrepreneur, you might visualize yourself confidently pitching to investors or celebrating a successful product launch. The idea is to make it so real in your mind that your brain starts to believe it's possible.
I can see how that could be powerful. It's like programming your subconscious for success.
Exactly. And he backs it up with some interesting neuroscience about how visualization actually strengthens the neural pathways associated with a particular skill or outcome. But you know, what I really appreciated about the book is that it's not just focused on personal achievement. There's a whole chapter dedicated to the importance of giving back and using your success to uplift others.
Oh, that's refreshing. Too often, success literature can feel a bit self-centered. How does Dr. Chuma approach this idea of giving back?
Well, he argues that true champions don't just win for themselves, they use their platform and influence to make a positive impact on the world. He gives some great examples of athletes who have started foundations or become advocates for important causes, like LeBron James and his work to improve education in underserved communities.
That's really admirable. It ties into this bigger idea of success being about more than just personal accolades, right?
Exactly. It's about leaving a lasting legacy and inspiring others to greatness. And I think that's what makes this book so powerful. It's not just about becoming successful in a narrow sense, but about becoming the best version of yourself and using that to make the world a better place.
I love that perspective. It reminds me of that quote from Marion Wright Edelman. Service is the rent we pay for being. It is the very purpose of life, and not something you do in your spare time.
Oh man, that's exactly the kind of thinking Dr. Chuma is promoting. And you know, it's interesting because he talks about how this mindset of service and giving back actually contributes to personal success too. Like when you're focused on making a positive impact, it gives you a sense of purpose and motivation that goes beyond just personal gain.
That makes a lot of sense. I'm curious, does the book address how to balance personal ambition with this idea of service and giving back?
Yeah, it does. Dr. Chuma emphasizes that it's not an either-or situation. He argues that by aligning your personal goals with a greater purpose, you can achieve both personal success and make a meaningful impact. He gives the example of social entrepreneurs who build successful businesses that also address important social or environmental issues.
That's a really interesting approach. It's like finding that sweet spot where your talents and passions intersect with the needs of the world.
Exactly. And he provides some practical exercises to help readers identify that intersection in their own lives. Like, mapping out your skills and interests alongside the issues you care about, and looking for ways to combine them.
That sounds really valuable. You know, as we're talking about this, I'm realizing how much this book seems to challenge conventional ideas about success and achievement. It's not just about climbing the corporate ladder or making a lot of money, is it?
No, not at all. Dr. Chuma really pushes back against those narrow definitions of success. He argues that true fulfillment comes from living with purpose and making a positive difference in the lives of others. And he backs it up with research showing that people who find meaning and purpose in their work are actually more satisfied and successful in the long run.
That's so important, especially in today's world where it's easy to get caught up in superficial measures of success. Does he offer any advice for people who might be feeling stuck in unfulfilling careers or situations?
Yeah, he does. One of the key messages is that it's never too late to make a change and pursue your true passions. He gives some inspiring examples of people who made major career shifts later in life and found incredible success and fulfillment. Like Julia Child, who didn't start cooking professionally until she was in her 50s.
Wow, that's encouraging. It really speaks to this idea that we all have untapped potential within us, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And that's really the core message of the book, that we all have the capacity for greatness. We just need to nurture it and have the courage to pursue our dreams. Dr. Chuma provides a roadmap for doing just that, with practical strategies and inspiring examples to guide the way.
It sounds like a really empowering read. Do you think the ideas in the book are applicable to people in all walks of life?
You know, I really do. Whether you're an athlete, entrepreneur, artist, or anyone looking to achieve more in life, there are valuable lessons here about harnessing the power of your mind and spirit to create the life you want. It's not about comparing yourself to others, but about maximizing your own unique potential.
That's such an important message. I think a lot of people struggle with feeling like they're not good enough or that success is only for a select few.
Exactly. And that's why I found this book so inspiring. It's a reminder that we all have the potential for greatness within us. It's just a matter of nurturing that potential and having the courage to pursue our dreams. Dr. Chuma really challenges readers to think about what kind of impact they want to have and how they can use their unique talents and passions to contribute to something bigger than themselves.
Well, it certainly sounds like a thought-provoking and motivating read. Any final thoughts on Born to be a Champion?
Yeah, I think the biggest takeaway for me was this idea that being a champion is really a way of approaching life. It's about bringing your best self to everything you do, constantly growing and improving, and using your gifts to make a positive impact. And that's something we can all strive for, regardless of our circumstances or chosen field.
That's beautifully put. It's been great diving into this book and exploring its powerful messages.
Absolutely. Well, that about wraps up our discussion of Born to be a Champion by Dr. Jonathan Chuma. To all our listeners out there, remember, you were born to be a champion. Now go out there and make it happen. We'll catch you on the next episode of Gen FM.